Hey everybody, Bruce Jones here, and welcome. It's Monday, and I want to thank everybody who has jumped in on the Workbook MasterClass. We've had a lot of fun, and it's live now, and I just have a couple more videos to put in there, and everything will be good. And I had a wonderful Friday night. I did part of the bonuses for this class are three Zoom calls that I put together, which are just live, and basically they're going to be broken down into, first one was for dealing with Microsoft Word and Google Docs, and then the second one was going to be PowerPoint, and the third one was going to be using InDesign and kind of how to do it. And we had such a great call on Friday night. We had eight people who are all creating workbooks come in, and it was just a lot of fun. And you can see that if you look down below, there's a post that I just put in a little while ago where a picture, you'll see the sort of the Brady Bunch picture, and there's a link there, and you can go watch the whole session. It's like about an hour and a half long. It was great. It was just a lot of fun, and we had some fabulous ideas, and we didn't get to a whole lot of Microsoft Word stuff, but it was all about marketing and creating products and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do two more, and I'm going to just delay them. I was going to do one tonight, but I'm going to delay it a little bit so that the rest of the people who are coming in this week can take advantage of this these live sessions, and we'll do more. So it was fun. It was really a blast to do it. Everybody had great ideas, and so we went from there. So that's down below me here somewhere, or there's a link. And there's also a link, if you haven't picked up the class yet, there is a link right above me or below me, depending where you're watching this, for the Workbook Masterclass. It runs through Friday, and then after that, the price will go up, and the Zoom calls will come off, and that's it. So we have a whole week here of doing stuff. So what I thought I'd do this week is just do some different training sessions related to, let's put this here, just kind of walk through and just do some training sessions related to the course. So if anybody has any questions also, just put them in the comments below. And let me just see here. I just want to make sure that I am live, and I will try to answer those questions too. But I'm just going to kind of run through some basic concepts. So today's concept will be, oh yeah, there we go. Okay, we're there. So just put a comment in. Will be this. So what I just want to talk about, this was something I talked a lot about in the, we had a lot of conversation in the Zoom call, and it's one of the videos that's in the course, ideas to think about for your workbook, and workbook checklist, journals, study guides, lesson plans, all that kind of stuff. And we often think that we have to have a full book. We have to publish a whole book. And one of the messages, as I was developing this and looking at stuff and seeing how people are doing it, is we don't have to write a full book. We could do a single page. And one of my recommendations is to start with a single page, a worksheet, or just a single lesson plan sheet, or a PDF that someone can download. So that's, I think, is, we think it has to be, this big thing, and it's great if it is, but you can get started very quickly making a single sheet using Word, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Google Docs, or anything. Maybe just key points. Maybe you're doing a thing like this, and you want to have somebody just have access to the notes, or places to write down comments, or you're teaching a little course. So you don't have to write a full book. You can start out with one page, and it can grow into a book. So that's, I think, a concept to make sure you keep in your head, that you can jump in on this immediately, creating support materials for your book, for your course, your consulting, teaching, whatever it is. You can put that together. So that's something that I would do. Hi, Winnie. Winnie's here. And so that's key number one. That's point number one. And we talked a lot about that in the Zoom call that we did on Friday night. We'd had a lot of good conversations. Point number two, you don't have to officially publish a book. It can be a PDF. So a lot of worksheets are delivered using PDFs, which makes them super easy to get done. Later in this week, I'm going to show you, I'm going to make a little bio worksheet, which is one of the things that we talked about. I have it right here. I had it here earlier. We did this little, I was describing making a little bio worksheet, kind of like this, that would go with your podcast, where this would be your speaker's name, a little bio, 4 or 5 key points that your person has, and then a link in the PDF to that person's product. You can make this thing, and maybe a little space here to write notes that they're going to get from listening to your podcast. And it's a way that you can market to them. You can market to people saying, hey, make sure you download the bio sheet with the products or the checklist. And yeah, let's see here. Oh yeah, no, we had a great comment. Thank you, Winnie, for a couple of Winnie's friends came in to the thing, and one of them said, I think it was Susan, said it was the best Saturday night she spent in a long time, which isn't something about Saturday night, Friday night, Saturday night. It was some of the best Saturday night she spent in a long time, which isn't something you usually hear about with the Zoom call, but it was a lot of fun. We have so many ideas going around. I think you just make sure you checked out that video, and the link is below, and it's also on the site. So that's another thing. So it doesn't have to be a book. You don't have to print something. It doesn't have to be in paper, and you have to deal with Amazon and KDP. It can just be a PDF and let your customer print it out, especially if it's, oh, they're clients. Okay, so that's good. Especially if you are, what am I going to say? I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, especially if it's just something small and something easy. So you can get out 1 or 2 sheets. Remember, it doesn't have to be big, just 1 or 2 sheets. You can put that out. Workbooks, this is something that I came as I put in this, and I've noticed that if you go to a conference, you go to a talk, you go to something, or a webinar, workbooks, checklists, things like that, slow down your online presentations and live programs, because people don't have to write your notes and their notes. They don't have to write what you have up on the screen. You know how you often see people, I've done it, we've all done it. We go to a big conference and we're all sitting there taking pictures of the screen all day long. That's what we're doing. We just keep taking pictures. Well, if you give them the printout of the notes or make it as a simple worksheet, they don't have to spend all their time taking pictures of the screen. They can spend their time listening to what you're saying. And so that's a key thing, that you slow the process down. It cuts in half what you have to do, trying to get all those notes down. Random notes don't mean anything if you have a context. So what was it? Let's see. So that idea for the podcast notes is excellent. The hard part is trying to get show listeners to opt in. So you show notes, worksheets, as a way to do it. They make a great opt-in gift. Well, I think my idea was to use a little bit of the fear of being left out, and that you refer to it in the podcast. You'll say something like, make sure you go download the sheet that has the resource list or has the special offer from our guests or their key bullet points of the major things. Like, incorporate it into the podcast, where you mention at the front or the back. That link could be an affiliate link, so you're getting a piece of that action. If you have a guest and they have a product, that link at the bottom, here's my thing here. That link at the bottom can be an affiliate link. I'm going to make this, I think, on Thursday. I have a little dental work being done tomorrow, so hopefully I can talk at then. This can be an affiliate link. So yeah, and just incorporate it into your speech. It'll take you a little bit to kind of figure out how to do it, but you can say things like, make sure you download that sheet. It has that special extra PDF that somebody has on it. It's a few notes from them. And don't go crazy. It's just simple. Make it simple. But it also makes you stand out a little bit from your competitors' podcasts, because you're giving an extra piece to the whole process. So, and it's an experiment. It's a podcast. You can decide to experiment with different kinds of sheets until you find the one that works, because you're coming back over and over and over again. That's one of the beauties of podcasting, or anything that's on a regular basis, is that you're doing it multiple times. It didn't work on this one, but maybe you alter it, works on that one till you get it. So you kind of do it. So it slows down. It gives everybody a place to write stuff down. Workbooks and checklists make great marketing tools. So people love top 10 lists. They love checklists. They love the notes, all that kind of stuff. People they love downloading and holding on to that kind of information. So you can use it as a lead magnet. You can use it as a lead magnet to say, hey, you want to get this, go to this site, sign up, just give your email, and then you'll be in a list and you'll receive all the PDFs that we get. Now you've captured them into your world. So it's a very easy thing to do. Mostly you're just doing a sort of a top 10 list of your key things. And document step-by-step activities, turn them into notebooks. workbooks, journals, step-by-step guides. If you have an activity that, like you're teaching somebody how to garden or how to, do woodworking projects or how to paint or how to, do stitchery or whatever it is, if it's step-by-step, take your camera, take pictures of it, and just use it, and then put them in order on the worksheet with little lines for notes. And in fact, I think I have that right here. Here it is. I think I made up one for that. Something like this, right? So this would be the picture of the whatever it is, the step, and picture, and then places for notes. So if you're teaching a lecture or a talk or something where there are steps, give people the steps and pictures that you've just photographed, put them together, and it makes a wonderful thing that you can download. And as I said, it slows the process down because people can write down exactly next to the picture, circle the things, all that kind of stuff that you're teaching. So the workbooks just have a lot of great features in them, and that's sort of what you can do with them. So then we talked a little bit about just some products you can make based on these ideas. So you have a wide variety of things that you can sort of create. Let me just move this over here, make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And so you have your book, and most of the people, like on Saturday night, all had a book of some kind, but there was all consultants or coaches. So you have your book, you combine it with a workbook, and now you have a bundle, a workbook or a checklist or something. So your book is worth X, your workbook is worth Y, and you put them together, and now you have a bundle package that can go. These can be PDFs too. You can buy the book and put an ad at the front or a link at the front of your book that you sell physically on Amazon. There's a link there, and you can download the workbook that goes with the companion workbook. It doesn't even cost you anything. It's delivered for free. It's just a PDF. Or you turn around and you sell it, and the two things go together. So you combine these two things together. People love bundles. I've known for years, and I've sold bundles for years. You can make more money. And that's part of what I'm trying to teach in this, is a way of monetizing your books and get more out of it. So if you have a self-help or a business book, a how-to book, a personal growth book, or any kind of book like that that has sort of, you're transitioning someone or it has steps in it, you can turn that into a bigger package. So combine them together, put them together, you have a workbook. You can put discussion pages and exercise sheets. You give people things to do while you're talking to them. Or if you're a consultant, maybe you send this thing out beforehand, says fill all this in, so that when you show up to do your project, they've already thought about some of the issues. They're all organized around your workbook. And just look at what you do. Like, just look at the process you have, how you do things. What are the common questions you would ask? What's the process that you do? You always do this, then you do this, then you do this. Write that thing down, and you don't have to put it all in one day. Just carry a notebook with you over a period of a month or so, and just write down the process and notice what's common. What do you keep doing all the time? Where can you institute some kind of a guide to help you do that process better? Leader guides are great. We looked at the Ed Gaskin project last week, where he had his book, which was used in discussion groups. Out of this book, had a lot of questions. He formed a workbook that people in the discussion group could use, and then out of the discussion book became a leader guide. So leader's guide. So he made 3 products out of one. The leader's guide had a lot of extra support material, so somebody else could lead a group who wasn't familiar with it. And it just was a great thing. I did a whole case study with Ed, and it's in the member area of the Workbook MasterClass. It's just really great how he kind of worked through, and he didn't really write very much of it. He just curated. He put together other people's information. Other people helped him develop the questions and the things that they did, and built this really cool product that it can be sold in bulk, because now you have the workbook for all the participants, you have the leader guides, and it expands you all over the country, because these kind of discussions go on anywhere. Audio video version, I'll just combine those two together. So if you have a workbook, you can do video companions to it. So video, just do a video of different steps of how the person fills them out. You know, on this page, I want you to fill this thing out here. This is why you do this. Basically, instructional videos that go with the workbook. Your workbook went from this unit to now basically a course, right? You've combined and added a whole piece to it. So you're just kind of growing into the course. You started with the book, you added the workbook to it, you added the videos that describe what you do in the workbook and how to fill it out, basically instructions, and now you have a course. You might start at $14.95 for your book. Your workbook might be $47.95. They have often more perceived value. And your courses and your videos might be $199.95. That's a product that just keeps growing as you kind of move down, and you can just sort of gradually add these pieces to it and grow your product. And there's 3 different levels of that product. There's an A, B, and a C. So cool stuff to be able to do. Add it onto podcasts and video series. So if you're doing a podcast, I really encourage you to figure out short. You don't want it, this isn't like going crazy or writing a book every time. Can you make something like this, right? Just a simple sheet that has stuff on it. You know, we've been to conferences and things where the person who handed us the workbook, the worksheet, was really the table of contents of their book. They didn't have anything else. People just like having something to write things down in. You know, if you're in a PowerPoint presentation that you see up on the screen, if you do print and you pick the third option, in fact, let's do that. Let me watch this. I'll show you an instant way to make a workbook. Instant. Let me just bring this up. And here, we'll do it right from here. So you just see on the screen, this is my, these are the notes I'm working on. And now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go to print. See if this works here. Print. Will it work? All right, I won't show. All right, let me do it. Let me do this. Because this is how you can make an instant workbook. Let's stop screen share for a second. Go back to screen share. And we're going to do entire window. Boop, share. Oh, my messy stuff down here. Okay, so here's my, we'll put this here. Oops, let's put this down here. So we have plenty of room. All right, so this is how to make an instant workbook. Here's my presentation that I'm doing right now. I'm going to go to File, Print. All right, does that show up on the screen? Yes, it does. Okay, and right here, Slides. I'm going to pick number 3. So you can put it puts little mini thumbnails of it on your page. I'm going to do number 3 and watch what happens. See this? Look at that. You can probably see it right here. It turns into an instant workbook. Each slide has a series of lines that just automatically pop up next to it. And you just save this as a PDF right here, and you have an instant workbook, just like that. This is the fastest way to make a workbook out of your PowerPoint presentation. That PDF right here, you can then email the people afterwards or before, do it before, and now they have something to write on. So I think that's like the coolest, quickest thing that you can do. Let me just do this and go back to here. Share screen, application, just bouncing around inside. All right. So there's no excuse. You can make a workbook instantly just by doing that. So yeah, isn't that great? So if you have PowerPoint presentation, bang, you have a workbook without doing anything, just like that. Save that as a PDF and you're done. Put a cover on it and now you've got a book. You can sell that or give it away. So and then so that you can add this to your podcast, your video series, whatever it is. Come up with stuff that you can do, and then cross promote your books with each other to increase the sales. So basically, what I'm saying, I put this on the product page, is that people get to find out if they buy your book. You go to the back of it, and in the back of the book are your other books. So they may not have been aware that there was a companion workbook that went with this, or they bought the workbook and wasn't aware that there was a book that went with it. So cross-promote inside, and so that people are aware that there's a much bigger product that's out there. So that's sort of what I mean by doing that. So that's sort of material I wanted to sort of cover today, was just some of the things that you can There we go. Some of the ideas to think about for your workbook, and then how you can turn this into a product, because we all want to try to sell more stuff. So, so just to recap on what we were talking about with the course, there's a link is above, there's a link is below, it's somewhere here. And with the Workbook Masterclass, you get all the videos, you get the hidden treasures in your content, you get, oh, it does show up there. You get the hidden treasures in your content. That's where I break it down and show you how to get the meat out of it. You have the key workbook tips. So that's just different ideas. I think I just kind of shared some of those to you. I have 3 case study videos. I love my case study videos. We have Graham Reese, we have Ed Gaskin, and Nancy May. 3 different topics, 3 different ways that they created the workbooks that they're working on. One went from a workbook to a book. Ed went from a book to a workbook to a leader book. And Nancy May is taking her soon-to-be published, which I have right here somewhere, her soon-to-be published 911 book, and breaking it into about 12 checklists and information guides, which is one of the things I try to recommend to people is, if you don't have this stuff yet and you're writing your book, think about how you can write your book to break it up into pieces that you can sell in different ways. So you don't just have to write this book and be done with it. You know, put discussion questions at the end of the chapters, put some kind of task question or checklist. Her book is filled with little checklists and big checklists. Whoops, where am I? There, all kinds of stuff. That becomes, look at that, see, there's a whole checklist. Those all become products that you can add to. You can wrap videos around them. You can do other things around them, and it becomes just this powerful thing. So those are in the course, and those are really cool. The masterclass workbook that I created, tips and resource book, PDFs you can download. I talk about publishing and marketing your video, design 101, just basic concepts like consistency in your elements, how you lay things out. It's not too deep. It just kind of covers, you know, watch your fonts, keep things lined up, that kind of stuff. Making a cover video. I talk about just so many ways, especially if you're not printing your book on Amazon, but you're doing it in other ways. There's so many different ways to make a cover. I was filming these today, the workbook elements. Those will be going up shortly, just as quick as I get done with here and can edit them up. And then the live Zoom training. We've had one, there'll be 2 more. I'm just gonna kind of wait until everybody gets in and we get to the end of it, just so that people can take advantage of it. Total value, you can see there, $14.50. And for this week, launch week, we're putting it down. It's $99. And then there's a coupon. Make sure you use this coupon. Most people are taking advantage of the coupon. Workbook Open. And so it's $49.95 till the end of the week. And so let's just show you just quickly, and then we'll wrap this up. Let me go to the screen share here, entire screen, like so. And so this is the class right here. And this is where you sign up. You just click this little button. I want this. And there, I put this video, that really cool video from Saturday night is right here on the page. I put it right at the top so you can watch it. Just click this button and you can watch it. Here's one of the case studies is here too, the Graham Reese one. But this one was great. We talked about marketing and how he put the book together and the importance of it to his business, and a little intro down there. So that's all there. And then once you hit this, that will put your money stuff in, and then you will get an email. Let me see. Do I have all that here? Where'd it go? Too many things. Put this down here. Let's go here. I just wanted to show you this. And you will get an email that looks like this. And you just click this button, and you'll be taken to the page where everything can be watched. And you can download it or you can watch it, and all the different parts are here, the different videos, the workbook, the templates are down here at the bottom, and it's all there. So it's super easy to just watch it and do it. It all kind of comes from this page. So, so there we go. That's the process. And so that'll be there. Tomorrow I'll be talking about the secrets hidden inside of your book. That should be fun to put. I'll be putting that together. And then Wednesday, I'm going to do a video or session on how to make this. This cool sheet, I'm going to show you how to make this worksheet. That's my plan on Wednesday. So, all right. Any other questions? Let me just check and make sure there's no other questions. And I think we're good. And I will see you on tomorrow or in the next broadcast, or come on into the class and join in, and we'll be there. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.